In 1998, Jim Carrey went from Hollywood's greatest comedic actor to one of its greatest actors, period. The 90s classic The Truman Show quite literally reinvented and took Jim Carrey's career in a whole new direction.
No way! That's great!
The Truman Show was originally a non-commissioned screenplay by Andrew Niccol, inspired by an episode of The Twilight Zone called Special Service. Back then it was more of a science fiction thriller with the story set in New York City. Scott Rudin purchased the script and set up production at Paramount Pictures. Brian De Palma was originally set to direct before Peter Weir signed on. Niccol rewrote the script while the crew was waiting for Jim Carrey to sign as he had wrapped up filming on Liar Liar. Peter Weir felt Carrey was perfect for the role and opted to wait for another year rather than recast him. Peter Weir was directly responsible for the setting being changed into an idyllic town to make the movie feel less sci-fi and more homely. The film was a financial success, netting $264.1 million on a budget of $60 million, and it debuted to critical acclaim, earning numerous award nominations with Jim Carrey and Ed Harris both winning Golden Globes as Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor respectively. When Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert reviewed the film, they not only gave the film 2 thumbs up, but they gave an on-air apology to Jim Carrey for saying that he would never have a career when they panned Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Fair play, lads. I'm glad he won your round.
Is that he's got that predatory thing.
The film of course tells the story of Truman Burbank, played by Jim Carrey, who was adopted and raised by a corporation inside a simulated television show revolving around his life. Unknowing to him, he is on the air unaware 24 hours a day. Laura Linney plays his on-screen wife in the show, Meryl. Noah Emmerich plays his best friend, Marlon, in the show. And Ed Harris plays the creator of the show, Christoph. This has to be Jim Carrey's most likeable role. You love Truman in the way the show wants you to, but you root for him to break out at the same time. Truman is so genuine and kind, and it never comes across as forced. This is one of the things that makes the movie, and of course the show within the movie, so interesting. They genuinely managed to produce the nicest guy ever out of this manipulated fake TV show. Like Christoph says at the end, everything may have been fake, but Truman was real. Carrey shows admirable restraint in the film, and his performance is a real heavyweight acting turn, taking on a role you'd expect someone like Tom Hanks or Edward Norton to tackle, and holding his own among those names. Carrey took the world by storm as the fun-loving guy with the funny faces, but after the Truman Show, he was about to stand tall as a serious dramatic actor too. Christoph is a fascinating character, and Ed Harris plays him so convincingly, you never know what to make of him. In moments it does seem that he genuinely cares for Truman, but in others, he's very creepy, seemingly enjoying the control he has over Truman's life. I'm serious, he almost has an orgasmic trance when he jerks Truman's emotions around by bringing his father back from the dead. I got to be honest, it's bloody weird.
No. Fade up music. And now going close. Years wasted. I'll make it up to you, son. I swear. Dad.
What an amazing moment. Where did Christoph go? Oh, he's just in the back, wanking. It's an extremely intriguing dilemma to wonder what the makers of the show and the cast actually think about Truman. It's never really made clear whether these people actually care about him. His best friend will do something proper dickheadish, like this.
The point is, I would gladly step in front of traffic for you, Truman.
And the last thing I'd ever do is lie to you.
And the last thing that I would ever do is lie to you.
He's an asshole.
Laura Linney is a real highlight as Truman's bubbly wife Meryl, who is tailored to be a housewife seemingly right out of the 50s. It's a great performance. She's so dedicated to playing her character, she leaves her morals at the door and pretends to love this man. But she presents her love in such an artificial way. It almost makes you wonder how Truman has fallen for her for so long, because she's so unfeeling behind the eyes towards him. It's almost like she accepts the fact that she's playing a prop. Her role is not to show emotion, but to light up the screen every now and then and smile for the people at home. Her interaction with Truman when he is wising up to what is going on It's hilarious. She tries to keep up her character no matter what the cost. I guess you have to respect her dedication, but dear God, be more smart with it.
Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
I've tasted other cocos. This is the best.
The man strongly suspects he's living in a TV show and he's still doing commercials directly at the camera. What are you thinking, Meryl?
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Natasha McElhone plays former cast member Sylvia, who had a brief love affair with Truman and actually fell for him. The crazy and ingenious thing is, the makers of the show used this as an opportunity to create a storyline, and we get to see flashbacks of Truman thinking about her. So while Sylvia actually loved Truman and was literally trying to infiltrate and pull him out of the show, the makers still managed to manipulate this into a love story they could use for their entertainment and dramatic advantage. The level of control Christof and co exercise on Truman's life, right down to his interactions and memories, is insane. It's heartbreaking to see Sylvia watch from the outside since being banished from the show, hoping and praying every day that Truman will find his way out and come and be with his one true love, instead of the manufactured version he is stuck with. It's great to watch Truman slowly become more wise to his situation as Carrey's performance grows more paranoid and manic, and we almost see some of the comedic Carrey come through, but it's always restrained and under control. You root for Truman so much and feel his frustration as everyone around him tries to stop him finding out the truth. It's so fun when we are shown the different people around the world who are watching Truman, because they all root for him the same as us. Through the film they root for him in the context of the show, but by the end when he's trying to escape, they are desperate for him to make it out. I remember watching this movie in the cinema at a very young age, and still to this day it's one of my most vivid cinema memories. It really left an impact on me. One of the main reasons I think was the soundtrack. It's reserved and low key in some moments, but in others it's thrilling and absorbing. It's a very unique soundtrack and one that creates a very heightened mood. It's almost like an attack on the senses.
There she blows.
Peter Weir meticulously directs this film, making so many moments stand out in this meta-reality. He really does make us feel like we are watching the show within the movie. The way he shoots Sea Haven, Truman, the characters around him is a real attempt to show how this could be possible and how it could captivate and entertain 24 hours a day. The escape scene I think is one of the greatest movie scenes of the 90s. It is mental. Truman is risking his life to escape and Christof is competing with him to keep him on the island, even to the point of being willing to kill him. The soundtrack, direction and editing in this scene is truly fantastic. It was one of the most intense scenes I had ever seen as a kid. I still can put myself in that cinema all those years ago. That's how incredible an experience I had watching this scene for the first time as a youngster.
Give me some lightning. Again. Hit him again. God's sake, Chris. The whole world is watching. We can't let him die in front of a live audience. He was born in front of a live audience.
Well, he's not just gonna die in front of a live audience. You're gonna bloody kill him in front of a live audience. You're about to commit murder on a global, international, televisual scale, Christof, you maniac. It might be very easy to take the Truman Show for granted today, but it's worth remembering that not only is it one of the great movies from the 90s, it was really unique back here. No one had ever seen anything remotely like this before, and fast forward to 2020 and reality TV has just gone nuts. I would not be surprised if there was people out there who would be willing to have Truman's life. In fact, some almost do, living their lives in front of an audience on TV. The Truman Show concept, I guess, exists today, but the difference is the unknowing position of Truman, and that's what makes it still stand out. If we ever did cross that line and it was legal to do so, for me that would be the end of humanity and morals, but seeing it happen in this movie makes it stand out among the crazy world of reality TV today. No matter how far it has gone, it has never approached the haunting and surreal spectacle of The Truman Show. What do you guys think of Jim Carrey's first serious film, The Truman Show? Is it one of his best movies? Let's discuss it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please check out the Jim Carrey Reviews playlist. and please consider subscribing, because next time I'm going to be talking about Jim Carrey's reality-bending turn as Andy Kaufman in Man on the Moon. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.